All right, so quickly here, we've got a little time at the ramp before Anthony gets here and we start some fishing. Um, so I was just gonna go over my spring rigs quick because I'd been wanting to do that for a while. So this first one that I'm gonna talk about is like my ultimate downsizer, rattle trap, all of those things. I've got a Pissy Fun just bass reel on there. I think it's like a 250 size reel. It's their Torrent. It's like 30 inches per turn, and I've got it on a Savage Gear Squad. Again, it's just a little bit smaller than anything that Chaos would carry in their lineup, and it's just kind of, a little bit bigger than what you'd use for bass, but a little bit smaller than what you'd use for muskies typically. And I've got that paired with the new 50-pound Barbarian Braid, and it works really well for like your jukes, rattle traps, lead lures, death paws, minnows, those kinds of things. Just stuff that's a little too small for some of my other Chaos stuff, like my surgical strike that I'm going to show you next. All right. So the next one that I use in spring, or have been using this spring more, is a Pissy Fun, the high gear 300 size reel paired with the surgical strike. I use, you can see I've got the new Wagon Dragon Mini on there. I use the surgical strike because Brian has had a lot of success with it. He likes it for smaller glides, smaller bucktails, smaller cranks, smaller, whatever, chatterbaits. But it's a little too big for rattle traps, a little too big for, some of your juke style things. So that's why I've got this one, and it works really well for glides, smaller glides. If I was to use a bigger glide, well, we'll get there in a minute. But this is the surgical strike with the Pissy Fun high gear, and then I've got the 80-pound Barbarian Gold on that one as well, which is really a good application for it because it's got that smaller diameter, which makes it a little bit easier to work with on a 300 size reel. All right, moving along here. Try not to knock any of my rods off. All right, next one that we've got here, you've seen it before, you'll see it again. This is my Rocket and SWAT combo. So I've got a Chaos 2020 SWAT with a Revo Toro Rocket. I use this primarily for dive and rise and some smaller twitches. I do not throw the Ridgways on this. The rod is a little too flimsy for what I prefer for the Ridgways. As you can see, I've got a 6-inch Bucko on there right now, and then Pandemonium leader. It's a really nice setup for any sort of dive and rise, pretty much up to 10 inches. I could probably get away with throwing like a 12-inch Suic on this, but I would probably prefer to maybe throw that on my shock and awe versus the SWAT. So the SWAT is just a nice thing. It works great for 10-inch Suics, works great for Buckos up to 10 inches, works great for crankbaits up to 8 inches. Again, a little too light for the Ridgways, but your 6.5 death paws minnows, your soul searchers, those kinds of things, it works really, really good for. So that's that combo that I've been using this spring, also paired with 90-pound Barbarian Braid. Yeah, Alex sent me plenty to get me geared up for this season, so I'm putting it to good use. All right, and then the last one, my favorite setup. My favorite setup, you've seen it before, you'll see it again. This is the 2020 Shock and Awe. I've got the Tranks high gear on here and show color Deusa. Again, I really like these show colors. This is the nuclear crappie. We've got some fairly clear water with some shad and crappie for forage, so we're rocking that. I've got the Shock and Awe is just great for any rubber, pretty much up to the size of regular Deusas. I use this for bigger cranks like the Ridgways, and I also use it for, if I've got a dive and rise that's a little bit bigger than, 10 inches. So anything like 12 inches or up, I generally use it for that. You can tell by the wear of the rod that I use this one probably more than any other rod, and for good reason. So it's light, it's easy to use. This is the 9-foot Shock and Awe 2020. I love it. Again, I need to get a Moab for anything that's, regular husky and above, but for pretty much 95 to 97% of the applications that I use as far as rubber is concerned, this rod is perfect. So hopefully that gives you all an idea of what I'm using and why. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. Hopefully this tackle talk was a little more interesting than some of the ones at my kitchen table, although I can't really say that it's a better backdrop considering it's the trunk of my vehicle. But anyway, if you enjoy it, let me know. Hopefully we can catch some fish today and you will see those fish at some point. But if not, at least we got a tackle talk done. So anyway, thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Thanks, Barry.